Sometimes, the moments that spark the biggest conversations aren't grand television appearances or headline-making interviews. They're the quieter snapshots that remind us how quickly time passes. That's exactly what happened when Kelly&Mark Consuelos' daughter, Lola, returned to New York City and shared a glimpse of herself that immediately caught fans' attention. Wearing a relaxed pair of low-rise jeans and an effortlessly confident look, she wasn't making a public statement. Yet somehow, the moment became one that thousands of people wanted to talk about. At first glance, it's easy to assume the attention was simply about fashion. Celebrity style has always generated conversation, and children of well-known television personalities often find themselves in the spotlight whether they seek it or not. But this story feels like it reaches a little deeper than a discussion about clothing. For many longtime viewers, seeing Lola confidently embracing her own style represented something much more meaningful. Another reminder that the little girl many remembered from Kelly&Mark's family stories has grown into an independent young woman creating a life on her own terms. That emotional connection doesn't happen overnight. For decades, audiences have invited Kelly&Mark into their mornings through television. Viewers have celebrated career milestones with them, laughed through countless funny family stories, and listened as they spoke honestly about the joys and challenges of raising 3 children while balancing demanding careers. Those stories created something rare in entertainment, a feeling of familiarity. Even though viewers don't truly know the family personally, many feel as though they've watched them grow together. So when Lola appears back in New York, fans aren't simply reacting to a new photo. They're responding to another chapter in a story they've quietly followed for years. It's fascinating how public perception evolves alongside celebrity families. Years ago, Kelly&Mark were primarily seen as a television power couple whose chemistry kept audiences entertained day after day. Today, many people also see them as parents who have navigated the complicated transition of watching their children become adults. That transition is something nearly every family understands. Whether someone lives in Manhattan or a small town thousands of miles away, there comes a moment when children leave home, begin building careers, discover new cities, and slowly shape identities that belong entirely to them. Parents remain supportive, but the spotlight naturally shifts from guidance to encouragement. Perhaps that's one reason this moment resonated with so many viewers. Lola's return to New York almost felt symbolic. Cities have a unique way of representing fresh chapters. They become places where people chase opportunities, reconnect with old memories, and continue discovering who they want to become. While only Lola knows exactly what this visit meant to her, many fans interpreted the images as reflecting confidence, comfort, and independence. Those qualities often speak louder than words. One detail many viewers noticed wasn't just her outfit, it was her expression. There appeared to be a relaxed confidence that suggested someone comfortable with herself. Confidence is difficult to manufacture. It usually develops over time through experiences, mistakes, successes, and personal growth. Perhaps that's what made the images feel so genuine. Of course, fashion trends inevitably become part of the conversation whenever public figures share photographs. Styles change with every generation, and what feels bold to one audience may seem completely natural to another. Low-rise jeans have experienced a remarkable comeback in recent years, embraced by younger generations while often reminding older audiences of trends from decades past. It's interesting how something as simple as clothing can bridge generations while also highlighting how quickly time moves. Many longtime Kelly&Mark fans likely remember when conversations centered around Kelly's own style evolution throughout her television career. Now, years later, audiences find themselves discussing Lola's fashion choices instead. That shift quietly illustrates something profound. Life continues moving forward, even when familiar faces remain part of our daily routines. Perhaps that's why these moments can feel unexpectedly emotional. Kelly has often spoken publicly about motherhood with remarkable honesty. She has shared funny stories, admitted to the challenges of parenting, and openly acknowledged how emotional it can be watching children become independent adults. Rather than presenting family life as perfect, she usually describes it with warmth, humor, and realism. That authenticity has become one of the defining characteristics of both Kelly&Mark. Instead of trying to create the image of a flawless celebrity family, they have generally embraced the imperfections that make family life relatable. Viewers have watched them laugh at parenting mishaps, tease one another affectionately, and celebrate milestones together. Those years of openness help explain why audiences continue paying attention to moments like this. People aren't simply following fashion updates. They're following a family they've watched evolve. It's also worth appreciating how carefully Kelly&Mark have balanced public life with personal privacy. Despite spending decades in front of cameras, they've consistently allowed their children the freedom to determine how much of their own lives they wish to share publicly. That approach isn't always common in today's entertainment landscape. Many celebrity families constantly document every milestone online, but Kelly and Mark have generally appeared comfortable letting their children establish their own voices rather than defining them through their parents' fame. That independence seems increasingly visible as Lola continues building her own path. There's something admirable about seeing young adults confidently embrace their individuality while still maintaining close family connections. Those two ideas don't compete with each other. In many ways they're complementary. Strong family support often gives people the confidence to explore who they are. Perhaps that's one of the quiet lessons audiences continue taking from Kelly and Mark's relationship, not only as husband and wife but as parents. Their partnership has always been built on visible teamwork. Whether hosting television together or sharing stories about family life, they often communicate through playful humor, mutual respect, and comfortable familiarity developed over decades together. Those qualities naturally influence how people perceive the environment in which their children were raised. Of course, viewers can only interpret what they see publicly. No one truly knows the private conversations that happen inside any family. Still, people often recognize consistent patterns over many years. Kelly and Mark have repeatedly emphasized communication, encouragement, and allowing their children to grow into independent adults. Many fans see Lola's confidence as reflecting those values. Another interesting aspect of this story is how social media has transformed everyday moments into cultural conversations. Years ago, someone returning home to New York might have remained entirely private. Today, a single photograph can inspire thousands of comments discussing fashion, confidence, family, and personal growth. That doesn't necessarily mean audiences are obsessed with celebrity culture. Sometimes they're simply responding to universal experiences reflected through familiar faces. After all, nearly everyone remembers returning home after spending time away. Home carries emotional weight. It represents comfort, memories, family traditions, and the people who helped shape us. For young adults especially, returning home often highlights just how much has changed since the previous visit. Parents notice it. Friends notice it. Even the individuals themselves often realize they've grown in ways they hadn't recognized before. Perhaps that's another reason these images resonated. They quietly captured the feeling of returning, not as the same person who left, but as someone continuing to evolve. That idea feels surprisingly universal. It's also refreshing that this conversation has largely centered around admiration rather than unnecessary controversy. Many online discussions focused on Lola's confidence, personal style, and the reminder that she has become an adult making her own choices. That healthier perspective reflects a growing appreciation for allowing public figures, especially younger ones, the space to express themselves without constant criticism. Sometimes confidence deserves to be celebrated instead of questioned. As entertainment audiences continue changing, stories like this remind us that genuine connection rarely depends on dramatic headlines. People remain interested in Kelly and Mark because they've spent decades building trust with viewers through consistency, humor, vulnerability, and authenticity. Their family moments carry emotional significance because audiences have witnessed years of context leading up to them. Without that history, this might have been just another celebrity photo. With that history, it becomes something more meaningful. It becomes another page in a story viewers have followed across generations. Perhaps that's why so many people paused for just a little longer than usual when these images appeared. They weren't only seeing Lola. They were remembering years of family stories shared during morning television. They were reflecting on how quickly children become adults. They were thinking about their own families, their own memories, and the surprising speed with which life moves forward. Maybe that's the quiet magic behind moments like these. They're never only about celebrities. They're mirrors reflecting experiences many of us recognize in our own lives. A daughter returns home. Parents continue cheering from the sidelines. Fans smile as they realize another milestone has arrived almost without warning. And somewhere in those ordinary moments, extraordinary emotions begin to surface. Perhaps that's why Kelly&Mark and Mark Consuelos continue holding such a unique place in the hearts of television audiences. Beyond the cameras, beyond the headlines, and beyond the public appearances, many viewers continue seeing something refreshingly authentic. A family embracing change while remaining connected by humor, support, and genuine affection. As Lola continues writing her own story, moments like this serve as gentle reminders that growing up isn't about leaving family behind. It's about carrying those foundations into new chapters with confidence and grace. What do you think about Lola's latest New York appearance? Do moments like this remind you how quickly time passes, or do they simply highlight the importance of letting young adults discover their own identities? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which Kelly and Mark family moment has resonated with you the most over the years. After all, sometimes the smallest updates inspire the biggest reflections.